Today, we're diving into migraines, the third most prevalent disorder in the world, one of the leading causes of disability, and yet somehow still not taken seriously. And we're going to explore the surprising connection between migraines and hidden allergies that changed my life and might change yours too. Many years ago, I went to the doctor complaining of headaches. He prescribed painkillers and gave a lackluster talk about perhaps keeping a diary to try to find my triggers. It might have been an off day for him, but he just seemed exasperated. And unfortunately, this is a pretty common experience for migraine sufferers. Our pain just isn't taken seriously. So I did what many of us do. I started researching on my own. I read books, I looked up common migraine triggers, tried to figure out what was causing these crushing headaches that would sideline me so often. And the trigger lists were overwhelming. Commonly mentioned triggers included skipping meals, sleep, hormone, weather, and temperature changes, sounds, lights, smells, plane travel, stress, even good stress, and overexercising. Food triggers included chocolate, alcohol, caffeine, citrus, figs, raisins, papayas, avocados, red plums, overripe bananas, beans, raw garlic, onion, olives, anything pickled, fermented, or cured, cheese, fresh yeast, nuts, seeds. The list went on and on. Some sources mention these food triggers are high in tyramine, a compound that can trigger hypertensive crises in some people, especially those taking certain antidepressants or with naturally low levels of monoamine oxidase that's needed to metabolize tyramine in the body. But aside from wine and a few random cases after eating out, I didn't think any of my headaches were food-related. From casual observance, I knew I was likely to get headaches after moderately intense exercise, watching movies at the theater, and airplane travel. Symptoms were worse around my period, and once a migraine hit, pain intensified under light. Everything hurt. Lights, sounds, even talking or moving my body was out of the question. I'd have to lie down in a dark, quiet room until the next day. My partner would get headaches too, but usually after eating out. It all seemed pretty random and unpredictable. Then came the unexpected breakthrough. My migraines dropped by nearly 90% when I went gluten-free. Another 10% disappeared when I eliminated some nuts, seeds, and beans. For what it's worth, I also tested positive for a few of these by an allergist, but not all. My partner seemed to get headaches from too much fermented foods, possibly from tyramine or histamine, or maybe even mold allergy. But then there was one thing we both reacted to dramatically: fresh baked yeast bread. I made a sweet flatbread, gluten-free, leavened with yeast. After just a couple of bites to taste while frying them up, a horrible crushing migraine hit. I had to retreat to bed before the others had even started eating. My partner had the worst gas for 2 days along with headache, blowing our minds about just how much gas can come from a human being. The other 3 who ate the same thing, no problem whatsoever. The funny thing is, I had seen this on some migraine trigger lists. Fresh baked yeast bread, less than a day old, and wondered, what the heck? We handle commercial gluten-free yeast bread just fine, likely baked days ago and sometimes even frozen. There must have been enough anecdotal reports of this to be on these lists, to which we're adding our little episode as well. So yeah, even if we don't understand the mechanism, we should still take patterns seriously when many people report them. This experience made me wonder, could migraines also be a symptom of allergies? When I started digging, I came across old studies looking at exactly that since at least the 70s. In 1979, it was reported that people with migraines had reactions to food allergens. The most common was wheat, which 78% reacted to, followed by orange, eggs, tea, coffee, chocolate, milk, beef, corn, cane sugar, and yeast. When 10 foods causing the most reactions were removed, migraines fell precipitously. 85% of the patients became headache-free. And as a bonus, 25% of the patients who had high blood pressure returned to normal. In 1983, a study showed 93% of children with migraine responded to diet. Most reacted to several foods. Many foods were involved, suggesting an allergic rather than a metabolic cause. Many kids have negative testing, suggesting IgE may not be the important mechanism in migraine. Other symptoms that improved alongside headaches included abdominal pain, behavior issues, seizures, asthma, and eczema. In 2006, wheat allergy and delayed migraine connection was confirmed through double-blind, placebo-controlled food challenge, the gold standard. They repeated the challenge 3 times with a poor patient because they couldn't believe it. Migraine was not a symptom they were looking for. And what about light? Researchers found they could not trigger migraine with bright light alone, which matches my experience. I also observed that bright sunlight is not a trigger, but would make throbbing pain much worse once the migraine already started. Some reported triggers like light, sound, food cravings, or skipping meals might actually be the earliest symptoms of a migraine, not a trigger. Knowing what's an actual trigger and what's an early warning sign obviously would be helpful. But it isn't all about food allergies. My airplane headaches were solved with noise-canceling headphones. I had assumed it was due to air pressure changes and such, but nope, it was the sound. Similarly, I still get headaches going to movies or live theater, so there were sensory issues as well. But the bulk of my migraines, at least for me, was the food. This made me step back and try to understand migraines themselves. What do we know about them? What causes them? Migraine headaches throb with moderate to severe intensity and can affect one or both sides of the head, often accompanied by nausea, vomiting, and sensitivity to light, sound, or smell. The pain usually lasts anywhere from 4 hours to 3 days. The research showed migraines are incredibly complex. There are a great many variable triggers that are highly individual, and there are probably various types by prevalent pathway. And it's possibly a brain disorder where migraine is simply the outward symptom. I was wading through 100 research papers and not feeling any more enlightened. Then, I stumbled on something while researching exercise-induced anaphylaxis. Cofactors. I believe this may be a key piece to the puzzle of why migraines have so many triggers, so stay tuned for a future video. It's crazy to think that not long ago, migraines were viewed as a benign inconvenience. Unless there were other unusual features, doctors just advised pain relief and sent you on your way. We now know that migraines are not harmless and can cause long-term brain damage.
Future editor self here. That wasn't quite right. It's more nuanced. Pardon my voice, I'm recovering from the flu. There's no definitive proof of permanent damage, and most doctors will tell you there isn't. On the other hand, it is true that migraines lead to brain fog and cognitive dysfunction, at least temporarily. So who knows what's the cumulative effect of that is when it happens over and over again over decades. We also know migraineurs have an increased risk of dementia later in life. So does that count as damage? Is it cause? Is it correlation? Despite all that we don't know about migraines, we do know that it wrecks your life. It's only benign in the sense that it's not known to decrease your lifespan, but how much of that lifespan is spent suffering and not being able to do anything, you know?
There are many studies on how the brain differs in patients who experience migraines. Migraines can alter brain structure permanently. They had more white matter abnormalities, infarct-like lesions, and even their brain volume changed in both gray and white matter regions. It's still unclear what all of this means. Another humbling reminder of just how much we don't know, even for conditions this common. This is why we shouldn't just stop at symptom control. There is an underlying cause, though it may be different from person to person, requiring quite a bit of detective work. Headaches and tummy troubles can greatly affect your daily life and functioning. They may rarely be immediately life-threatening or taken seriously, but can cause a lot of pain, disability, and limit your life. It's hard to be bold and try new things and push yourself when you can't trust your own body. All manner of gastrointestinal disorders can cause migraines, and treating the disorder can lead to improvement and even remission of migraines. Again, it's a two birds with one stone situation, and when the common cause is atypical allergies, you might get relief from both your headaches and gastrointestinal troubles all at once. If you suffer from migraines, I want you to know your pain is real. It matters. And there's a good chance there are answers beyond just take some painkillers. For me, it was certain grains, nuts, seeds, and legumes. For my partner, it was fermented foods and fresh yeast. Your triggers might be completely different and worth investigating. Have you found answers in your migraine journey? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.